We started experiencing this in high school. When we were sophomores, the sophomore girls wanted to date the juniors. When we got to juniors and seniors, they're dating 24-year-old men. When we get to college, a lot of men were seeing the same exact thing. They were going for the older guys that were in school, the guys that were out of school, or the small subset of men that was in the school that can get all the girls.
Super cool.
Right? So what we're seeing, a lot of men are seeing, there's a huge pool of men that don't qualify for you.
Hey, welcome back everybody to the Real Sync. I was having some coffee this morning and doing my normal YouTube research for content, kind of see what's updated. I found a pretty interesting video from the Fresh and Fit podcast. I normally watch some of their content if it seems like something that's worth watching. They had this guy on there who's kind of been trending on social media lately from the channel A Brutha Podcast. And he was at a certain segment that he was speaking on that really stood out to me. So I figured we would do a reaction to it, kind of get some different perspectives on it and kind of see what this brother has to say. And I thought it was really interesting in the way that he presents things. So let's jump right into it.
You said an excellent point, and your point about the tolerance factor, the acceptance factor. I don't think you all realize how significant that is when you were younger and you picked the wrong guys that you now know in hindsight weren't good for you. They were good guys there the whole time. They were legit nice dudes.
Facts.
Corny, lame,
Nerds.
nerds.
That was me.
Guys that didn't make, guys that were still students.
But you don't.
Yeah. So hold on. Just to clarify, for every man that you picked, there was a man you didn't. Right? When you're expecting men that you didn't want, that you didn't take, that you didn't go out with, to wait around to when you may feel like dating them. What human being deserves to live like that?
That's a very valid question that he asked. Why would he want to live in a society where his women don't desire him? He just getting overlooked. Do women have the right to have a preference as well? You know, men have a preference on what we want, and we stand pretty firm on it, whether it's realistic or not. Time reveals everything, but I think everybody has a right to have a preference. So I really can't find total fault in women for having their preference too of what their dream guy is and the type of guy that they desire. But I think it's not enough for those guys for every single girl that desires him. So at some point, we have to be realistic about the world that we operate in. You can't blame for having a preference. You really can't. But let's talk about the guy who get overlooked a little bit more. Let's see what he got to say.
You were in high school. If you did go to college, there was an opportunity when you all can choose. Your father's not picking your partner. It's sexual liberation. You could pick your own partners. There were young men who were freshmen like you were. We started experiencing this in high school. When we were sophomores, the sophomore girls wanted to date the juniors. When we got to juniors and seniors, they're dating 24-year-old men. When we get to college, a lot of men were seeing the same exact thing. They were going for the older guys that were in school, the guys that were out of school, or the small subset of men that was in the school that can get all the girls.
Super cool.
Right? So what we're seeing, a lot of men are seeing, there's a huge pool of men that don't qualify for you.
And when I was just coming out of school sometimes, I would see the older guys of the community that had the nice cars, that had the money, you know, they had the fast money, had the swag, had the confidence. And they did have some of the best girls from the community, even if they were younger coming out of high school. And those girls seem to be very happy to be entertaining those type of guys. So I think we've all saw that. That's a real thing, that it does happen. What's the long-term effects of it? I think that's in question. Maybe another topic for another day, because I'm sure there's pros and cons to it. But when women are younger and they're at their highest in demand, then they're going to pick who they find is going to be up to their standards. You really can't blame them for that. Women are naturally drawn to the strongest males to procreate with, the strongest of the community that presents masculinity, strength, and the ability to provide resources and to be a provider for their children. So that's my take on that. What y'all think? Did y'all see that growing up? Did y'all see a lot of the prettier, nice high school girls getting picked up in the parking lot by the older men? And they were actually excited to be with them, glad to be in that lifestyle, in that position with the popular dudes, you know. But let's get back to the video.
So the first issue is a lot of men are reacting and responding based off of where they're getting accepted. Where they're getting accepted. You all don't know what it's like to not be accepted from 18 to 28.
How you gonna say
What
that?
I mean by that is all of you will get attention from men. All of you will get pursued. All of you have been asked out. We are the pursuers. We're the initiators of asking and pursuing. So when you're the guy that keeps getting declined, or they're not even checking for you, I literally went to a wedding 2 years ago of a guy whose father won the lottery. Nobody knows about it. But because he's not the most handsome, charismatic, good looking, fit dude, he only wanted to date black women, and none of them wanted him for his entire 20s.
Wow.
He ends up with a white woman, and everybody's now saying, see, that's all you wanted.
Those dudes that are not getting picked because of many reasons that I've heard women say. I've asked a lot of women these questions on certain dudes, and I just kind of listen to the responses. Black men are definitely held to a high standard. Can't blame it, but some of it I do kind of question. It's almost like you got to be the closest thing to perfect as a man could be. You got to have the perfect height. You got to be a great communicator. You got to have a perfect hairline, perfect smile. You got to have big feet. You got to have style. You got to have street credit. You got to have, sometimes you almost got to have a criminal background. In some places with some women, if you're not street and thugged out enough, you're not going to be found desirable. So, yeah, I mean, what is that guy supposed to do when average black guy don't fit that criteria? He goes to where he's accepted, but it seems like when the brother goes to people who accept him, he actually gets criticized by the people that really don't even desire him. And that's crazy. Like, we don't want you because you're lame, but if you decide to not continue to let us reject you and you go find someone who views you differently and sees you as more valuable, then you're labeled as a sellout because you chose to date out of your race. Really don't make no sense. But I thought this was a pretty interesting video. Just kind of breaking down a couple of little things. That's what we do. We just talk about a little bit of it to give our perspectives. Shout out to the creator. This is from Fresh and Fit Podcast, also from Ask a Brutha Podcast. Just want to appreciate everybody stopping by, checking out the first reaction video for the channel. Hit that like and subscribe, and we'll be dropping some more in the future.